Let's look at the compound interest formula. If you remember, the A stands for the amount at the end. P is still the principal, just like in simple interest. We have R, and that's the interest rate. We have T, and that's the time in years. And the N in the exponent, as well as in the denominator, is meant to understand the amount of times that the bank compounds the interest. So we have 1 plus R over N. That 1 helps us add the interest that we have here to the principal. So again, the amount, the principal, the interest rate, the time, and the number of times that the interest is compounded. So if we read this question, if you start a bank account with $10,000 and your bank compounds the interest quarterly at an interest rate of 8%, how much money do you have at the year's end? And we're assuming that we're not adding money or withdrawing any money during that 1-year period. So here I have my original formula, and I'm going to substitute values. So let's look at what I have here. The first thing I do is I include my principal amount. 0.08 is the interest rate. Now 4 is quarterly, so 4 times a year. That's why I have a 4 here times the 1. If you notice, I'm going to do a little division in this case, and I have to work with order of operations. That means I have to do things within the parentheses first, then exponents, then multiplication and division, addition, subtraction. So my next step is to go ahead, and I did multiply 4 times 1 just to show you that that's 1 here. But I'm going to divide within my parentheses. So 0.08 divided by 4 is 0.02 or 2/100. Again, within the parentheses, my next step would be to add the 1. My next step is now to do the exponent, and I get a pretty long value at that case. My next step is multiplication. And since I'm multiplying by a power of 10, it's fairly easy to see that my number is 10,824.3216. However, since we're talking about money, let's change that amount into a dollar amount. So we're going to drop the last 2 digits and round. So it's $10,824.32. And that's how much money you have at the year's end. So let's go back and look from the beginning. $10,000 is our principal. 0.08 is our interest rate. The 4, because it's compounded quarterly, is how many times during the year the interest is compounded. And we use that both in the denominator and out here to symbolize how many times during the year it's compounded. So we did the 4 times the 1 because we were just looking for 1 year. If I had 10 years, the T in this case would have been 10. And 4 times 10 is 40, so my exponent would have been 40. If you notice, because my number down here is a decimal, even though I am using compound interest, it's still going to be affected differently than if it was a whole number. So it's 1.02, and 1 times anything is itself. So again, in this case, the amount of money that we have at year's end at 8% is $10,824.32.